Well, we're father and son. I'm playing the father. And
I see the resemblance.
it's good, isn't it? I wanted to have a moustache too, but they shaved that off.
We are here at the majestic Hotel Kuala Lumpur for the press conference of The Garden of the Evening Mist. This book by award-winning Malaysian writer Tan Tuan Eng is being adapted into a film by HBO Asia and Astro Shaw. It tells an enchanting tale of a woman named Ling and her incredible struggle during the Japanese occupation of Malaya. The stellar cast of the film, Lee Hsien-jae, Hiroshi Abe, David Oakes and John Hannah are right here with us today. Let's find out what they have to say.
My character in the movie really is a Malaysian Chinese woman who was captured by the Japanese and taken to a labor camp during the Second War when she was 24. After the war, she studied law and worked in the War Crimes Tribunal. I do find the similarities between Winling and me. We both are passionate, very determined, and had the inner strength.
今回の映画でそうですね、いろんななんですかね、日本人らしい心というものをこの映画で描いていると思うんですね。それは作庭家である庭作りに命を懸けている有友という存在が非常に繊細であり、しかも彼は全てのアートに興味を持っていて、僕は今回の役を作るために実際の作庭家にお会いしてインタビューをしたり、それあとお茶ですか、茶道の先生にお会いしてインタビューしたりと、お茶の部分はあまり出てこないんですけども、その日本の魂という部分が共通するかと思っていろいろ演じさせていただきました。作庭家というこういう役は初めてやったんで、僕も非常に戸惑いましたけども、なんとかこの作品に応えたいと思って、監督といろいろ相談しながら、今回の役をやらせていただきました。
Our producer Dinesh Kumar sat down with John, David and Tuan Eng to find out more about the film.
You mentioned in an earlier interview that one of the dreams of an author is for his or her book to be made into a film, but when it actually happens, you dread it. I'm just curious if you can elaborate a bit more on that. Like, why is that?
Well, it's a very personal thing when you write a book and you are in control of everything. You decide what color the sky is if you want it to be that. And to finally have to surrender all that control over to somebody else, and after that you have no say basically in everything that happens, because that's part of the understanding anyway. So it's very hard for a writer to do that. It's akin to a parent giving up his child, and then to let that child be brought up and influenced by another set of parents.
So can you guys talk a bit more about the characters that you'll be playing?
So we basically play father and son who own a tea plantation in Cameron Highlands, and Yunling, the female protagonist, comes to stay with us. I then start to fall in love with Yunling, played by Hsien-jae, and unfortunately there's a very attractive Japanese guy who lives at the bottom of the garden, and she just doesn't fancy me, and it's heartbreaking, devastating really.
There had to be a little bit of jam in the sandwich, and I'm kind of the jam.
Yeah, so we're no longer
Magnus
South
is
African.
Constantly, it doesn't carry baggage, and he has this great love, and perhaps that is a kind of counterpoint to everything else which has happened in from the war on a global level to on a personal level, where the Sino-Japanese love story is happening. Magnus is, as I say, a warmer colour.
It's sort of the human embodiment of where it all takes place.
Of where we would all like to be, of what we would all like to be in a way. Yeah.
Our characters are two that have changed quite a lot from the book, so I think we already know there's going to be a bit of a backlash to that one, to the book purists. But I think whenever you go into adaptation, it is adaptation. We're taking the source material and reacting to that. We're not trying to replicate.
I think people are intelligent about the process as well now, and they understand that, a book with this kind of multifaceted storylines and commentary, narrative, and what happens in the love is going to be different over a 90-minute period, and they accept that.
How difficult was it for you to sacrifice bits of your book when it had to be adapted into the film?
Well, initially, it was difficult initially, but I understand completely that it's a different medium, and from what I've seen so far, I think the whole team is doing a great job with it. So yeah,
being in a period piece comes with it, like you are set in a specific place and time. So, as actors, how do you then approach those characters which is set specifically in a particular point in time?
I think when you do period pieces, it's sort of easier than doing science fiction or fantasy, because you are there, you're wearing the appropriate clothes. In this instance, we are in Cameron Highlands, or the locations are specifically actual. Like you have to do less work, you pretend less. It's just you just have to be, as opposed to imagine a green screen dragon trying to be your face, which I would imagine is very hard. I mean, I've mostly only really ever done period stuff.
The one thing about doing period pieces is to kind of try not let your preconceptions of what a period is overwhelm you. I mean, it's a human story. It's a human being story, and I think any story which is about humans is great stories are
timeless,
perennial. They're timeless, exactly. And
it's interesting you mentioned your character's like the jam in a sandwich, and earlier you mentioned he's like the flute in an orchestra.
Yeah, I've been trying to find the right flute. I've been trying to find the right kind of analogy. I'm still fishing for that one.
So David, if he is the jam,
he's the jammy flute,
and the flute,
okay,
what are you?
Peanut butter clarinet. I'm the third wheel in a love triangle. I'm turning up and going, hey, I'm really nice, I own a plantation, love me. And
there's nothing wrong with the third wheel, because a tuk-tuk has 3 wheels.
Yeah,
so I'm basically, I'm the driver of a tuk-tuk, and in the back there's a Japanese man and a Malaysian Chinese lady making out.
I knew you were going to say that.
Guys, I'm just going around the block. I've already got to where I want to take them, and they've just paid me to driving round and round and round.
So jam, butter. Tuaning, what are you then?
You're the bread.
I'm the wine. He's the most important element in any production.
Venus Veritas.
Yes,
Durian ice cream.